Okay, let's go ahead and watch the match. And it looks like you were the guy in the blue. Good sprawl. Start coming around to the back. This arm is a little high. Like I know that you're trying to put that leg there, almost like a I can't think of the term right now, but just try to bring that back just a little bit. You end up getting the back control here as you break him down too. Um, like it's essentially like a spiral ride entry, if you will. And so when you take and go, instead of going here, try to open up, take this right hand, go underneath his arm and grab his wrist and start to flare out his elbow. So it would start this way and move around here. So hopefully that'll break his posture a little bit. But you just run the risk sometimes when you bring the arm so low of him being able to roll you through. But it looks like you probably have a little bit of wrestling experience, maybe. Try to, you don't have to worry about it now, but try to avoid keeping your hips um, on top of his hips with one leg in between. So it's not bad to have your hips on top of his hips, but leaving this trail leg behind, he's able to roll through and eventually go for knee bars and things like that. Like I said, not something that you need to worry about now because you're in white belt division, but definitely something to worry about later. So here I would have like there's a couple other options for entries too. Taking this near hand here, opening up his leg and shooting your left leg through, or taking your left hand, going opposite side and grabbing this wrist and then bringing your right leg over to get to the back. By pulling him on top like that, you're kind of giving him a little bit more of a basically a better position. So um, Toriano pass. Now, when you go Toriano, um, some guys will have different opinions, like go low on the ankles or go on the knees. I'm a knees kind of guy, but I think a lot of people are ankles. Now, when you'll notice you throw and then you kind of let go of them. So really, you can switch to a 2-on-1 grip, or as you throw, just make sure that this right knee comes in right away to like a knee on belly position, because now he still has his knee in your hip. Good. Get your right hand on the inside across your face to keep that initial one off. So pop that top one off first, and then that second one, and see how that's like sliding down his arm. Um, when you're breaking grips, his hand comes out this way. So his fingers are this way, his thumb's right here. So wherever the cameraman is, that's where you need to be going. So like you're pushing down this way, and you should be pushing like I can't do it because it's not 3D, but essentially towards the camera right now. So like the best way is to say it like this way, but not like what you're doing. I want you to like essentially sit up and push it towards where the camera would be. So like almost we'll say it this way, like up and away, this way. So whatever way his fingers are pointing, pull it or push it in the opposite direction. So here, if you'll notice, the other thing is, so as soon as you get done and he lets go of his grip, stop. You'll see where you put your hands. Not a bad position, but you're putting him at his armpits or his shoulders. Now, you guys are comparable size or comparable height anyways, and so that's usually going to be the same. Try to take your hands and put it lower on the biceps, and then that way he can't regrip hands. So in other words, this hand needs to be further down his arm to his bicep, almost to his elbow, rather than that high to where he still has full mobility of his hands and his arms. Good job on the break. So option for you here, since you broke it down this way, leg weave pass, so taking your left arm, going underneath that arm or underneath that leg and going over top the other one. Pulls you back into guard here. And same thing. See how your hands are going right back to your shoulders rather than on the biceps. And I would avoid, like in the future, when you pop up like this, get a little bit better grip on his, so like hands on the hips rather than hands on his biceps. If you do want to do this, the other option would be having, like, say, your right hand on his right hand towards the hip, so getting wrist control and then pushing it down towards the hip. Here he's got options later on to be able to sweep backwards, like a an old school leg bind sweep or helicopter sweep. So, but you do a good job on getting the pass and getting the guard open. Pretty much same situation for this one. Looks like your cameraman's not doing the best, but as you come back, it's pretty much the same thing. You do a leg weave guard pass and be able to get that. You guys must have multiple people going, I'm guessing. All right, so you got past and back to this situation again. Watch that trail leg, so your right leg. If you've wrestled before, that's good position for wrestling, not necessarily a good position for jiu-jitsu. And so he's giving you plenty of space to be able to enter the back. So like here, possibly bring your right heel where your right hand is. Bring that in first, underhook this side, and start going towards his back and getting points for that rather than just continually trying to pull him on top. Or, pull him to side. And it looks like that's the end of the match. So, good match on that one. And then I think you're this guy. So, come back. So, try to break the grip there if you can. Bring your posture down just a little bit more. Keep that back straight. Gets the takedown. Get up your knees. When you bail out, so when you go here, try not to flat it completely out. Not such a big deal if you're about the same size as the guy, but if the guy's much bigger than you, a lot of times it's hard to bring your knees back up to your chest. So like when you go here, you go completely flat and then you come up rather than rolling to your knees in the first place. So doing a little peek out there or sit out. Nice work there. Try to keep control. So if you're peeking out to the left, or popping out to the left, take your left arm in this case and control his wrist. That way, it's hard for him to follow. Oh, good. Keep angling to the left. No. So if your head's on that one side, keep angling. So your head's on his right hip or your left side. Keep angling to that side, and then start working around. Because you're coming at him from straight forward, and the person on top usually is going to win from that. You got to cut an angle. Nice work. So here you can also switch your the leg to where this goes around the head. I know that you're trying to pinch the head with both knees. You can also scoop underneath and then essentially kind of sit on his head. There you go. Here, your right foot should be coming in, taking the back right away. I think you feel probably more comfortable on side control and mount, but there's a bunch of times here where you could be getting back points. It looks like you ended up getting a choke as well, like a modified uh, baseball choke or paper cutter choke. So good job there. The one thing that I would say, other than what your instructor said to work on, would be your positioning after the pass. So on the couple times that I saw you pass the guard, so we'll go for the. So here you get up and take him down. Okay, so when you pass, the few times that I've saw you pass, you're leaving quite a bit of space in between this hip and his hip, so it's allowing him to be able to bring that knee inside. See where, you're getting past and everything, but it's a little bit of an annoyance probably. So what I would do is once you get past whatever pass you want to work on, focus on getting this hip tight to his near hip, and taking this elbow and getting it tight towards this hip, and then walking his hips back. So then that way he can be completely flat rather than him trying to get to the side. So in other words, this hip moves in, your left elbow is in one line with your hip and your knee, just trying to connect basically your elbow, this hip, and this hip all together, and smash it down. I think that would help out a ton. And then the other thing would be back entries. So you were getting into not this particular one, but the other match where there was a bunch of options for you, and here too, where you were able to get into the back, but you chose to go into side and into mount. So maybe that was what you were working on, or the game plan was, but it was also could have had opportunities there for more points. But either way, nice work.